We had thoughts, Nick, in preparing for the NFL draft that Chad Wheeler would be selected in the 7 rounds. He was not, but still, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes, rather than being selected very, very late in the draft, it's actually a better situation for the guy and his agent to pick out a situation that is best for him. And Chad Wheeler finds himself with the New York Giants.
Yeah, SB Nation actually did a comparison. It's quite frequently it's better off being undrafted and signing as a free agent than getting picked 6th or 7th round. You get more options. It's not that big of a pay cut. It's really not any less certainty of making a roster spot. It is a little surprising Wheeler didn't go, but I think ultimately the injury concerns are there. He's dealt with injuries. He had an incident with law enforcement that never looks good, and really is never good. So I think there was a couple of big question marks that people thought, maybe we should take a pass, and if he's around for free agency, let's pick him up there, because he was not the most stellar. He wasn't a guy that you had to get by round 3. He didn't really do enough to stand out or to overcome those question marks. But the Giants, I think, could use a lot of help on the offensive line. And so I think they're really hoping for Chad Wheeler to be a pleasant surprise that they got for an undrafted free agency and didn't have to use a draft pick. I know a lot of Giants fans are not terribly happy with the Giants draft in general. But I think Chad Wheeler could have a good opportunity there. I think he's just got to stay healthy, certainly avoid legal trouble. And he's just going to have to go to work and improve as much as he can, because he did have some technique issues that a lot of scouts were also concerned about. So he's got a bit of a road to hoe. But if he works hard, works smart, stays clean and healthy, he could impress.
Avoiding legal trouble seems to be a difficulty for a number of these NFL draft selections. I would love at some point, Nick, for somebody to do a study with the average 18 to 22-year-olds propensity to be accused of and convicted of a violent crime versus an NFL draft selection during those years, or a college player and moving on to the NFL. I would love to see that comparison, because I see it seems like it's high, but I don't know if we would make the comparison statistically. It just seems like it's high. But again, we're talking about knowing about 250 or 260 players drafted, and then another, I don't know, it looks like 8 to 10 per team, probably another 300 guys that were picked up as undrafted free agents. So we're talking about 550 or 60 guys around 20 to 22 years old. And we know of a handful that had their issues during their college years.
I think what might skew it is, the average 22-year-old doesn't have, round the clock media coverage when he gets busted for a DUI. I'm guessing. I don't know, but yeah. So maybe it's the media that skews it or amplifies it, makes it seems like it's more happening more often. But either way, it makes you want to tear your hair out, because it's just like, good Lord, man, you're sitting on a wad of cash. Don't be stupid. That's all you got to do. Just don't be stupid. And yet here we are. But I digress. Sorry.
What I've learned, Nick, from having 2 teenage kids is that when you define the around the clock media coverage, if you consider Friends, they basically are now the media, so that everyone does have some level of media coverage on Twitter and Facebook and all the other things we don't even know about. Everybody's out there and everybody's known.